Hi YouTube, welcome back to my channel, or welcome in if you're new. I am Channie and today we're watching a casual geographic video, and this is the Unspeakable Horrors of the Deep Sea featuring LindsayNikole. And we do know LindsayNikole, yay! I watched her frog video. It was actually very entertaining. She's funny and she shares info that is very useful. We like it, Picasso. But yeah, this is gonna be about the deep sea. Now, some of you might be aware already, I do have thalassophobia, but not the kind where you're scared of the big creatures and of the like unknown creatures in the deep sea. I've just drowned 5 times in my life, so I just don't like big bodies of water that are deep, where I can drown and suffocate and not be able to breathe. And it just freaks me out that there's like, it's nothingness, you're just engulfed in this big mass of water. That's what terrifies me. Like, I do know there's big creatures down there, there's scary looking creatures down there, and yeah, I'd be scared of that, but I'm more scared of the actual suffocation part, so to say. So yeah, let's see how bad this video will scare me, or if it will level up my thalassophobia to also include the big scary creatures down there. Let's find out. It's pretty ironic for a water spirit to have thalassophobia. It is, but like, I'm an Aquarius, and that is water in itself. So it's like who I am, you know what I mean? It just made the perfect sense to be a water spirit. It was calling my name.
You've probably heard me say that I'd rather eat 10 pounds of Popeye's biscuits with no drink than ever go out into the ocean.
I've never had Popeyes.
Well, I'd rather ride cross country on a bike with a hot grill for a seat than spend half a second in the deep sea. There's a lot of living nightmares and paralysis demons come to life if you sink deep enough. And the megalodon is not one of them. You'll often hear this thing about how the prehistoric apex predator never got discontinued. It's just chilling a step above hell in the abyss. This is cap for 2, well actually 3 good reasons. 1, there just isn't enough food to sustain a 60-foot you to the natural order. 2, if nature did keep the same jumbo jaws that peaked in the Pliocene, we at least would have seen a body by now. And number 3, why do y'all want this to be alive so bad? I promise you there's way worse things down there. Like, I would evacuate my bowels if I ever saw a giga great white shark. But put me in front of a T-posing squid and I'm shitting more bricks than the entire city of Newark. The big fin squid is easily one of the most disturbing things alive as I'm saying this. It's a T-posing predator with arms estimated to max out at just under 30 feet. Scientists believe the big fin catches bodies by dragging those arms, which can be easily 20 times its own body length, along the ocean floor like trawling nets and feeding.
It's like a spider daddy long leg meets a squid, and they just like, they went at it. They went ham. And then this was the aftermath. Imagine the taste. Is this edible? Wouldn't it be poison? I don't know. I feel like it would be poisonous. I only see shoelaces.
Feeding on whatever poor soul accidentally bumps into them. You're gonna hear me say believe or we think a lot, and that's because we don't know a whole lot about them. Almost every sighting and virtually every specimen studied were either juveniles or paralarvae. We have no way of knowing exactly what their final form could look like.
See, I've been saying this. The deep sea is the portal to space and aliens, bro. There's no way we know nothing, or we know so little about what's in there, and y'all want me to believe that these creatures are not aliens? Look how they look. I know this is just like a image, but like, this makes so much sense that this could be its final form. Do you see? Like, damn, this is alien life at its peak. I feel bad. I'm covering like Sir Casual Geographic here, not gonna lie. Is he gonna move, or is he gonna stay here for the rest of the video? Should I go in the middle? All right, I'll give it like a few more seconds and then I'll decide.
For all we know, this could be Junior, and we just haven't seen Mama Big Fin yet. Who would have thought that just putting elbows on a squid would instantly turn it into the spawn of Satan? Oh, and if you thought the Big Fin was just this slow, passive floating predator, then you're seriously underestimating the ocean's ability to massacre your mental health. And if you're curious, this video was taken about 7,000 feet down in the Gulf of Mexico. But considering they're believed to be the deepest living squids at about 20,000 feet, I have a theory. This is a juvenile, and the big boys are the ones shacking it up down in the crotch of the ocean. But good news, the big fin probably only feeds on small fish and crustaceans. Bad news, there are squids big enough to beef with the biggest predators on the planet. And the biggest predator on the planet that isn't a disgraced former YouTuber is the sperm whale, which on its own would have to be one of the most traumatizing things to witness during their 2-hour hunting expeditions down in the deep sea. Well, the tankiest carnivore on Earth regularly runs fades with the giant squid. And by giant, we're talking about
I'ma do something different. This feels weird. I don't want to be in the middle. I don't like this. But I feel bad covering him. Where do I go? I don't know. You know what? F it, we ball. F it, we ball. I'm Spider-Man now.
Calamari growing to an estimated 40 feet long. Not only are they themselves predators that hunt using 20-foot tentacles, they're opportunistic cannibals that would 100% murk their entire family reunion for some calories.
Oh my god, they
now,
look
nature
beefy.
high-key screwed up their character design. They have a donut-shaped brain and an esophagus running through it, meaning if they swallow something big enough, not only
Top left. He keeps changing sides, but he's like maintaining this side. What is happening with Squidward? What the hell is going on right now? Is bro good? I don't think bro is good actually, but this is crazy. This is crazy. I'm gonna just send out my apologies and stay where I am usually, because I'm just confused now. Let's give it a few more minutes.
do they run the risk of choking to a flatline, they can also factory reset their entire personality through severe brain damage, which is why they mitigate this by shredding their victims with a razor-sharp beak and what is essentially a tongue with teeth, the radula. That beak is such a weapon that you'll rarely see a sperm whale that hasn't been tattooed during a struggle with a giant squid. And while the plus-size cephalopod usually loses in a war with a whale, they do not make it easy. But the most disturbing thing about them is that eye. Giant squids have the most physically imposing eye.
That's cute. It has like pleading eyes. It's like the cat from Cats and Boots. Boots and Cats. Boots and Cats? Boots and Cats and Boots and Cats. Okay, sorry, I didn't mean to beatbox. But you know what you know what I mean? When cats do the little please eyes?
In nature, with it being roughly the size of a soccer ball. Contrary to popular belief, huge eyes don't exactly help it see further, but it does mean they're terrifyingly good at noticing objects giving off their own light, which is a lifesaver since when their biggest optosperm whale is on the hunt, modern-day Leviathan disturbs glowing creatures like jellyfish and crustaceans who flash in response. Having eyes as big as their heads means the giant squid can detect and use those flashes to avoid becoming a corpse. But that also means that if you ever go swimming in the Giga Squid's area code, the flashes you'd create mean that while you might not see it, the same animal that does its own kind dirty would know exactly where you are. And honestly, there's only one thing that could be worse than getting stalked by a school bus-sized headfoot. There's another squid with hunting tactics so spiritually upsetting, I'm not even gonna talk about it. I'm gonna go ahead and use a lifeline.
The Humboldt squid, also known as the red devil. I'm Lindsay, by the way. Hi. Humboldt squid are found in the eastern Pacific Ocean, typically between 600 to 2,300 feet below the surface.
I don't remember if I said it in the previous video I reacted with her or of her. The hat is so cute.
Of the ocean.
I like
their
her
nickname
drip.
comes from the way they use their pigment cells called chromatophores to communicate. You're probably familiar with chromatophores through videos of different cephalopods using them to change color, blending into their surroundings, and even dreaming. And Humboldt squid notably use them to turn bright red when they're aggravated, hence the nickname Red Devil. It's very on brand. They're also extremely predatory and have been known to act aggressively towards scuba divers on rare occasion, which becomes a bit more terrifying when I tell you that they can get to 8 feet long and 100 pounds. Now you might be thinking, Lindsay, that is not that big. What about the giant squid and the colossal squid that can both get to like 40 feet long? Well, I haven't told you the best part yet. The Humboldt squid is known to live and hunt in groups of up to 10.
Oh.
No, up to 100? No, 1,000? Yes. In groups of over 1,000. 1,000 squid. That's about 992 men if you ask me. While hunting in these groups, they use their chromatophores to communicate with each other, coordinating movements and attacks, allowing them to take down larger prey, dragging them into the depths until they go unconscious. Scientists have identified some of these communication patterns, as you can see in this little chart, but still don't know exactly what any of them are. But regardless, that sounds like one of the worst ways to be unalived in the ocean. Oh wait, this isn't a TikTok collaboration. That sounds like one of the worst ways to die in the ocean.
So as you can see, whether it's being confronted by a Humboldt block party or squaring up with a live-action kraken, there are many aspects of the deep sea
They're still smaller than Channie pathetic, bruh.
that end up with you putting your therapist up a tax bracket. And a lot of that's because of this cute little thing known as deep sea gigantism. The idea that the cold temperature, the dissolved oxygen, and the lack of pressure from predators allows some animals to escalate to the biggest and most terrifying versions of themselves. Exhibit A, the Japanese spider crab, which can measure 12 feet across from claw to claw and weigh as much as a human toddler. Only thing worse than a giant spider crab is a giant crab spider. This is an Antarctic sea spider, a dinner plate-sized demon spider.
Hell no. Hell no to the no. Never. Show me the shit again. I'm disgusted. I am terrified. I don't like it at all.
Spawn that hunts by sucking the life out of its prey through its proboscis. Now,
Oh,
technically, they're
hell.
not actual
Ew,
spiders.
ew, no, I
But
can't.
also, I
can't.
imagine most people watching technically don't give a especially since this one looks like it identifies as a face hugger. Then there's a giant isopod, which is
Oh,
essentially
God.
an aquatic cockroach.
Bro. You know what? 6 minutes in, my mind has been changed. There's ginormous sea spiders. That's the added fear right there. I am more terrified now. Thank you very much. Your job has been done. Casual Geographic, you done did it. Yep. No, no sexy sax. No. Absolutely not. Isn't that just a king crab? I don't know. That's the crab from Begone brand meme. I don't think I know that meme. Is that the predator alien? I want to cuddle one of these isopods. You want to cuddle one? I swear cockroaches have ruined seas as well as land. We need a blobfish. I don't really want to go back to the pause screen with the spider looking ones, but yes, like the legs are long and stuff, but like the face, it kind of reminded me of the xenomorph from Alien Isolation. Just wanted to put that out there, but I do not wish to go back. I'm good. I'll stay with these ones. These ones like don't bother me much. Like, yeah, they look creepy and weird, but it's not spider looking, so it's whatever. It has a little roundness to it, you know?
Big enough to be cradled like a baby. No clue why you would, though. And if you're
Yeah,
looking
look,
for a
you
truly
see?
supersized animal crossing, the oarfish should be on your list. The giant oarfish can grow to well over 30 feet
Wait,
long,
it's
and
called
there
the
have even been claims of
predator
those in the
alien? I was talking about xenomorphs without tails. Ah, okay. I didn't know they had a different name.
neighborhood of 50 feet. Proof that back in the day when we had stories about sea monsters, they weren't lying, they just didn't have all the names yet. Also, if you caught that pun earlier, we're friends now. But with deep sea gigantism and the
Which
endless
one?
expanse of
Which one?
ocean acting as a canvas for Shaitan to practice his art, if you dive deep enough, there be monsters. For example, this. This isn't an animal. It's
What the
a
hell is
group
this?
of animals joined together in something like a hive mind. So we're not talking about it. We're talking about them. And sophonophores like this come in many forms. Like the Portuguese man o' war armed with venom to ensure that the excruciating experience of meeting one is permanently etched into your brain. And there's a Priodubia,
What are
a
we
giant
even
sophonophore that can
looking
flex
at?
a total length of up to 160 feet. And even though it's a collective group
What?
of tiny animals, its length could humble a blue whale, making it technically the longest creature on the planet. Or at best, a modest second, since the bootlace ribbon worm has been reported to reach 180 feet in length. And it's toxic because the ocean, and of course it is, with nasty smelling mucus potent enough to life deprive the crabs it
Ew.
likes to eat. Like I said, whether it's Lucifer's tapeworm or a
Ew.
flying spaghetti creature, there be monsters. And it gets so much worse than a giant worm. Because as terrifying as a
How
deep
much
sea
worse,
is,
sir?
it's also nasty. And there might not be anything more repulsive than the hagfish. This Lugi linguini feeds on the rotting corpses and carcasses that sink down into its domain. And since they don't have any actual teeth, the graveyard guppy feeds by sliding into an opening and eating the decomposing body from the inside out. And you would think that something that eats like a casket wouldn't have to worry about getting put on a plate itself. Again, you're giving the ocean too much credit. As self-defense, the hagfish will sweat buckets of slime, a phlegm jacket that's thick enough to clog the gills of anything hungry enough to F around and
Oh my god,
unlucky
it's
enough to
spat
find
it out. It's
to
like,
the point where
yuck.
this is the end game of a truck transporting hagfish on the highway crashing. Now, you've definitely seen
Oh,
this picture
hell
before, but have you ever
no.
stopped and asked yourself what they were doing there in the first place? You remember how I said nothing that eats like a hagfish should ever have to worry about getting eaten?
Ew,
Well,
ew, ew,
simple.
ew,
For these
ew.
hagfish, their
Ew,
final
ew, ew.
destination were dinner plates in Asian
Why
countries
are
such
they,
as
like,
South Korea, where
so
they're considered a
slimy?
delicacy. Now, I'm not one to judge other cultures, but we seem to have a habit of constantly trying to eat all the things nature went out of its way to tell us not to. But one thing you
Actually, now that I'm editing this would probably go hard. Casual Geographic, come on. I feel bad. His face is covered. I'll stay here. That way he's at least a little bit visible.
won't see as a main course is something ironically named after a fruit.
Wait, what did you say? Oh my god, he actually talks about it. He does talk about it. You literally mentioned the hagfish.
The sea cucumber is like the hagfish in that its meal prep consists of all the things we normally flush, burn, or bury. All the soul evacuated bodies that sink down to the ocean floor instantly get put on the cucumber's grocery list. It's a literal bottom feeder, and I
mean,
mean
look
that since
at
they'll
it,
also make a
though.
meal out
It's
of feces. But like
crawling.
with vultures, if Thanos had beef with sea cucumbers, the world would become an
It's
infinitely more
waving. The sea cucumber is cute. Look at him. He's just waving.
Disgusting place. That's not the only way sea cucumbers contribute to society. They're also often used as a protective bunker for fish and, well, let's just say they break in through the back door. Oh yeah, it's a
No. Wait. Other fish go into. Oh no. He didn't just say that, right? Surely not. It's a joke, right? He's just doing a little silly haha. Gotcha moment.
for fish and, well,
Right?
let's just say they break in through the back door. Oh yeah, it's a violation of the highest
My
natural order.
God.
It gets worse when a pearlfish decides to have a playdate right next to its prostate. I don't even know if they have a prostate, but you get what I mean. And if that makes you uncomfortable, here's an ad to give you time to mentally prepare for what's next. This adorable
Oh my
little
God, how
guy
much more?
is known
How
as a
much more,
basket
sir?
star. It's a type of brittle star and an echinoderm, which actually makes it a close cousin of the sea cucumber. If you ever learned about fractals in geometry, then that's why the repeating pattern of branching arms might look familiar. It's also why the US is really wasting $20 billion a year looking into space, because the real
my
ET is
goodness.
happening right here. Because of the unsightly way basket stars get from A to B, they've also earned the nickname sea snakes. I feel itchy all of a sudden. However, even though it looks like something Lucifer would use to pleasure himself, they eat mostly zooplankton
What?
and are pretty much harmless for the most part. And honestly, that pretty much describes 80%
Why
of the
did he
nonsense in the deep sea.
Why
Only
did
really
he say
harmful
that
to
and
the
just why did he say that and just move past it? Like that's a normal statement to say. What the fuck? You can't just say that and casually continue the conversation and drop more facts. Excuse me? What do you mean by that? What do you really mean by that?
Looks like something Lucifer would use to pleasure himself. They
That's
eat mostly
crazy.
zooplankton and are pretty much harmless for the most part. And honestly, that pretty much describes 80% of the nonsense in the deep sea, only really harmful to your peace of mind. Like take the frilled shark. Having been around for 80-something million years, not
Oh,
only is a
wow.
frilled shark a living fossil, it's likely nature's rough draft beta version of sharks today.
Ooh,
Also,
why?
don't let this video fool
Why
you.
is it
They
built
can
like
grow to a
that?
respectable 6 feet long. Also, they can be pregnant for 3.5 years, which honestly makes about as much sense as
Why?
everything else down there. And in terms of your mental health, the
Oh my
frilled
God,
shark
what
is
is
pretty
that?
harmless.
Why is the teeth
Until
like
you
that?
look them in the mouth. The devil's fleshlight has hundreds of
Oh
needle-like
my
teeth to ensure that
goodness.
anything that gets caught in there doesn't get a second chance to pursue happiness. And for a shark that's been around long enough to have
That is
attended Savage Wedding,
terrifying.
I don't know why, but every picture of them looks like they're struggling with their own existence. Like I
They
said though,
look-
they're not a threat to
yeah.
humans. But like I also said, therapy ain't cheap, so if you don't want to end up on a couch, don't look a frilled shark in the mouth. But yeah, you'd be surprised at just
This isn't your average everyday darkness. This is advanced darkness.
how many types of sharks you'll find in the same neighborhood
teeth are
SpongeBob got stranded
terrifying.
in that one time. You have 20-foot sleeper sharks that are somehow able to use stealth to just spawn and inhale sustenance like a water Kirby. Speaking of sleepers, in 2015, a Pacific sleeper was recorded in the Solomons Island. Why is that important? Well, its home address was right under an active volcano, proving that if any animal had plot armor, it'd be sharks. Then you have the ghost shark, which, okay, yep, you got me, isn't an actual shark, it's a close cousin known as a chimera. The ghost part though, that's on brand. They kind of remind me of the dry bones fish from Mario. The ghost
A
Nara
little
shark doesn't
bit,
even
I
have
can
the
see
teeth you'd
that.
expect it to have, but instead they have plates that they use to grind up food. But since nature's constantly overcompensating, chimeras do have venomous spines that are harmful to more than just your mental well-being. But by far the weirdest thing about them, chimeras have a tenaculum on their forehead. A tenaculum is a reproductive organ, meaning this fish has a
Whoa. So I guess you can call this fish a pee-pee head, but like descriptively, not offensively, right? You're just describing it, right?
yeah, on his forehead. Venom and
That is crazy.
that aside, this fish fresh out of Tim Burton's Wet Dream is actually pretty cool looking. And I'm just gonna say it, I think they're cute, and I'm perfectly fine
They
with standing
kinda
on their
are.
hill alone.
Look at the
However,
way they
I don't
flap
think you'll
their
find a single
fins.
soul on this next shark's hill.
Feast your eyes on the goblin shark.
I hate this one. I hate it. I hate it. The way it just extends its gum to like extend out the teeth. It's so bizarre. I hate it so much.
Demon dog looking fish with a mouth that snaps like nobody's business. They're rarely seen but are known to live in oceans all around the world at depths of up to 4,200 feet below the surface of the ocean and are estimated to get to 18
That's
feet long,
1,300
which
meters.
is really big for a
I'm
deep sea
covering
shark.
it.
You might
I'm
have
sorry.
seen videos online of their jaws just
Oh
fully
my God, like,
ejecting
look at
from their brain
that.
case in a process called slingshot feeding. It's kind of what they're known for. Their upper and lower jaws lunge forward away from the skull, engulfing their prey. I know it probably seems ridiculous and almost
Holy
alien, but it's actually
moly.
not uncommon. Most fishes have jaws that aren't entirely attached attached. One might argue that the goblin shark is the most extreme example of this look, until you see a video of the sling jaw wrasps, who use suction feeding to snatch up their prey. They look like they have a trombone stuck in their mouth. Goblin sharks have a particularly long snout, and it's not for nothing. They have sensory structures, pores all over it, that help them locate their prey, like squid, fish, and crustaceans. And I am personally grateful I am not a squid, fish, or crustacean.
Yeah, goblin's the right word for the only shark in the world with a receding gum line. But you gotta admit, yeeting your own jaw to catch calories is pretty metal, and you're gonna find that a lot of the creatures rolling in the deep have evolved some of the most creative ways of bagging groceries. Probably the most popular is the fish that nearly turned Nemo into an orphan. The anglerfish has two defined
I thought they would be super big, but recently I saw a picture. They're kind of small, like at least way smaller than I had imagined.
defining personality traits, and one of them is that fishing lure hanging right in front of those life-canceling jaws. That light actually comes from bioluminescent bacteria shacking up inside a modified fin. So when a bite-sized light work swims up to the light thinking it just cops some easy protein, the angler ensures that some fish out there never sees its father again. The other thing anglerfish got clout for is their mating habits. I'm not gonna get into it, just know that if your marriage looks anything like theirs, you're gonna need both a divorce and a restraining order. And you know what? Intensive therapy on top of that, expeditiously. Nemo's paralysis demon isn't the only deep sea creature to weaponize light. This distinguished gentleman is known as a stoplight loosejaw, and its defining trait is that it uses a red light to hunt, which turns out to be a massive cheat code since the
That is terrifying. Imagine you're in the dark and this is all you see. What the hell?
longer the wavelength of a color, the less energy that wavelength has, and the faster it gets absorbed by water. And since the color red has the longest wavelength out of all of them, it's the first one to get absorbed. This is why red light can't reach the deep sea, and the animals living in the abyss that are red actually appear black, which makes it easier for them to hide from predatory smoke. But with a stoplight using red as a searchlight, it's pretty much cracked at this version of hide and seek. Not to mention, since most of the life down there can't even see red, it's able to catch bodies while also not giving up its location to predators or the prey it packs up. This fish really evolved a whole wall hack and a real-life invisibility cloak. Tell me that ain't crazy. And that freakish overbite ensures that once prey is found, it's lost forever. But why hunt prey when you could just sit and wait for it to come to you? That's the entire playbook for the deep sea lizardfish. Just look at that smile. You know he's on.
Oh my god, that's a menace. That thing is plotting.
Nefarious timing. And at over 2 feet long, they earned the title of being one of the premier apex predators of the deep sea. As a habitual camper, they lie waiting for life to pass them by before they lunge and use hypodermic needles for teeth to cancel it. And with apex standing for anyone providing smoke gets extinguished, lizardfish don't hesitate to turn their own kind into coffin fodder. And with the whole point of those teeth being to hold struggling, panicking prey in place, they make sure they don't live long enough to learn from their mistake. But as much of a therapy bill this gecko guppy's mugshot might be, it might not even be the worst headshot in the ocean. Not as long as this is still a factor. I don't know anyone who would waste the oxygen trying to defend this.
I would. Many say this is a face only
The cutoff, I can't.
I don't know anyone who would waste the oxygen trying to defend this.
I would. Many say this is a face only a mother could love. Well, then maybe he is my son. This is the deep sea telescope fish, one of the most stunning creatures of the deep tropical oceans. They're found at depths of about 1,600 to 6,600 feet below the surface of the ocean. I can't say that normally. Surface of the ocean. And like you'll see if you look up photos of them online, they are often photographed at unfortunate angles that don't do them any justice. They orient themselves upwards, hanging out vertically in the water column, as they use their specially adapted eyes to hunt for the silhouettes of their prey. There are two species of telescope fish, Gigantism indica and Gigantism Channie. Don't be fooled by their genus name, which makes them sound like they're gigantic. That is not the case at all. Indica only gets to about 8 inches long and Channie a measly 6. They are just little guys. Gigantism actually translates to big tail, specifically. They are about half tail. But if they happen to latch onto a snack that's a bit bigger than their own size, that's no problem at all. They underwent a series of skeletal reductions that allow for more room to just fold it in half. That's right. They are expert folders. In 1925, scientists found a 5.5-inch long viperfish inside the stomach of a 3-inch long telescope fish. They described it as neatly folded, an incredible quality possessed by the lovely telescope fish.
Yeah, I'm sure if we gave him blistex and hairline restoration surgery, he'd be cute, but that's just me. That being said, there's a lot of pretty dope things just chilling in the deep. Take the barrel-eyed fish, the fish with a transparent head
what
that
is
means it can spot ops or prey directly above it, thanks to those 2 green gummy-looking orbs that are actually its eyes. Or the ultra-rare giant phantom jellyfish.
It is beautiful. Oh my god. It is so pretty.
Equipped with 30-foot arms that makes this ET understudy the length of a whale shark. And when I say rare, I mean this jelly's only been seen like 100 times in the history of mankind, so the fact that you're watching this right now is kind of wild. Then you have the deep sea Dumbo octopus that copes with stress by turning itself into a ball to discourage predators from eating.
I was gonna turn to a Dumbo octopus for my rebrand. It was either jellyfish, a Dumbo octopus, or a big cat. And we ended up with big cat. Channie just had 3.0 and 4.0 model ideas. How did you know? I was just thinking, I was like, damn, this would be like cool as like a nightmare theme like model. Like it would be so good as this one. Or is it this one? Like it's so pretty. Like just imagine some sort of like nightmare-esque Grim Reaper baddie as a VTuber model. And it's this thing. It's inspired by this. With like black and red as the color scheme. Bro, would go hard.
Discourage predators from eating it. And if this right here looks familiar,
oh my goodness.
Right to his thighs. The vampire squid does the inverse, as they'll turn themselves inside out and into their own personal panic room whenever they're pressed by a possible predator. And how about a sea pig for you? Take everything I said about sea cucumbers and forget it for a second, because honestly, they're just really cute in a way I can't fully explain.
It's like, are these its legs? Or what is that, the mouth? That cannot be the mouth. It's like doing little steppies with it. But like these look like legs too. So this is the mouth?
Forget it for a second, because honestly, they're just really cute in a way I can't fully explain.
They are.
But it's not hard to see what makes this squid instant serotonin. Rosia pacifica, or the stubby squid, is actually more like a cuttlefish. It's also a cuddly fish, and it's nature's apology letter for the sheer trauma it saturated the ocean with. It's actually real, and those arts and crafts looking eyes help it catch prey on a nocturnal schedule. It's also important as an environmental indicator, since scientists will often study their response.
Not exactly a stubby, but still a species of bobtail squid.
To changes in water pH and use that to determine how polluted the water is around them, which you would think would earn this anime octopus the respect of the scientific community. Well, you'd be wrong. There's a video where some scientists found one, and let me just say, not even Hiroshima got roasted that hard. But that's gonna do it for this video. Make sure you go ahead and drink water, hug your moms, go subscribe to Lindsay's channel, link will be in the description. Shout out to Lindsay for being in this video, and I'm gonna see y'all in the next one.
In the next one.
It's like Dave looks fake, like Davy Jones.
They look like googly eyes.
They look like they just painted them on.
No, they're being mean to him. Don't laugh at him.
So some other arrow with him just came before and just left it here.
He's nervous. Stop. I feel bad for him.
He is awesome. That's a good focus right there. Great focus, Justin.
It's freaking me out.
Oh my god.
I want to see him move.
It's a
Do something.
do something.
Do something is crazy. Oh my god, no. They're being mean to him. Poor baby. Give him head pats. Give him a little choky milk. Alright, so that was The Unspeakable Horrors of the Deep Sea by Casual Geographic featuring LindsayNikole. Very enjoyable video. I learned a lot. I did not know more than half of these. I have seen the big squid one in the beginning with the like spider legs, the daddy long leg spider legs. I've seen that one before, but I always get shocked at how like tall it is. Like the legs are so long. It's so insane. And then the squid ones, I think it was vampire squid. I didn't know squid could get this like chunky. They look like beefy, like they were on roids or hitting the gym at least. They had muscle to them. They looked crazy. Oh yeah, the spider ones. Yeah, I don't even want to address that. That was an extra fear right there. Spiders, but in the ocean where I'm already terrified. Yeah, I'm good. I'm good on that. We can let it rest. But my favorites for sure are the black jellyfish one. And then the Dumbo octopus are super cute. And this little fella behind me is so cute. I want to protect him. He's so cute. And then the jump scare one that Lindsay was defending. I have never seen that before. Or the one after it with like the two green eyes, the big googly green eyes. Those two were very weird looking. I don't know how you would defend them, but I mean, hey, to each their own. But yeah, again, very enjoyable, very informative. I would say my thalassophobia definitely increased slightly, especially with the spider looking ones. I think the spider looking ones did it the most for me. And then the slimy worm ones. Oh gosh, I hated those ones. Oh god, that one was disgusting. I could not. No, I'm good. Have you ever caught a kilo caneth in Animal Crossing? If not, you should look up the photo of one of these. I will look it up. Hold on. They're like chunky, but like the tail is like very wide. That's interesting. The tailbone to the tail itself, like the spreading is just like a wide area. Okay. Oh yeah, I have not caught it in Animal Crossing. They made them actually look similar. That's cool. I don't know how to say the name, by the way, but yeah. Remember YouTube? If it swims, it can be eaten. Yeah, it's crazy that those worms that I was disgusted by are eaten. It's crazy. But I mean, I guess when you like just cook it the proper way and just like make it look good with like everything else, it can work. It can work. It can, you know? But yeah, again, very enjoyable video. Shout out to both Lindsay and Casual Geographic on YouTube. If you enjoyed this reaction, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye!